Hello. I'm here to do your intake. So, I have been told you have come to join the consensus. Well, first of all, let me welcome you on behalf of all of us. So first, I need your permission to write things down about our interview. Yes, I will just keep general notes, nothing sinister. Alright. Yes, so, what I first want you to know is that I myself am also a late adopter. So, yeah. Yep. So joining the consensus is free, yeah? But you have to agree to the terms and sign a few forms. Yep. So, there are a few things that you should know up front. First and foremost, the process is not fully reversible. So you have to be absolutely sure that this is what you want. If you need more time to decide, please do so, because there is no good way back. Yes, we can in principle take you out again, but we find that many who leave the consensus suffer from chronic anxiety afterwards. Yeah, this is not something you want to expose yourself to. Yep. Yeah, these are things you should know. So I assume you got and read the brochure? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one. So do you have any questions up front? No? Well, no, they're actually very small implants. I have one here. 1 second. Look. That's it. Yep. So what we do is we basically make a very small incision here at the back of your neck and insert it there. And everything from there is automatic. There's really nothing to worry about. You want to touch it? Yeah, sure. Here. Yeah, it feels weird, huh? Yeah, it's actually very hard on the inside, but this soft and squishy exterior is what will be connecting with your tissue. Yeah, make sure it's biocompatible. Yeah, those are the links. Yeah, they almost look like fur. Yeah, there are 16 billion links per square millimeter there. You probably broke half of them already. No, but this is our demo model, it's fine. So how it finds the right spot? Well, in one word, chemotaxis. It follows chemical signals that your body emits to let other cells know which tissue they're dealing with. And in this case, they're actually the same signals that your brain used when it was growing, when you were still a kid. Yeah, that's cool, huh? Yeah. So these implants move a little faster in young children, but for you, I'd expect it to be in position in 2 or 3 days, and expect the implant to activate after maybe 4 days, 5 days, something to that effect. Yeah. No, you'll notice when it switches on. Yeah, so when it does, you can come in and we will guide you through your first dive. Yeah, it's usually a good idea to have someone there. Exactly. Some people find it a little bit unsettling at first. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get that question a lot, but it's quite hard to explain. So, the first thing you'll probably notice is that at some point, the frequency of your thoughts seem to go up. And you might be surprised every now and then that you came up with something very out of the box. Like something you wouldn't have expected yourself to come up with. And yes, this is actually not you. Well, it is you, but it is also not you. When someone dives into your neural shunt, their voice is no different from your own. They're using many of the same neural pathways as you would for your own thoughts. So it's actually very hard to tell external thoughts apart from internal thoughts. I mean, to you, it'd mostly feel like being more intelligent suddenly. Yeah, the effects are quite startling. I mean, it's not scary or anything, but you really do notice it. It's really an overnight change when it starts. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, are you normally a person who likes to be in control? Okay. Do you think this would unsettle you? Okay. Yeah. So that's stage 1, and we usually recommend to not go beyond stage 1 for at least a month, since typically your brain needs some time to adjust. Yeah. Usually the neural shunt needs some time to really properly integrate itself, and also your brain will change a little bit in response to this additional component. No, it will not harm your brain in any way. No, these things have been extensively tested. Yeah, exactly. Well, yes and no. So I understand that you have privacy concerns, and I had them too. So first of all, let's be honest. Everyone does, in principle, have access to all of your memories. That may sound really scary and intrusive, but it's really not nearly as bad as you think it is. Yeah. So, the thing is, accessing your memories is not like accessing a file on a computer disk. You cannot see all the files on the disk. Memories are usually activated when external cues trigger them. Nobody can download specific parts of your memory. Nobody can really hunt for embarrassing memories or things you're trying to keep a secret. And when the memory is accessed, they will also immediately come with all the connotation, so that the person who is diving into you fully understands why you thought and acted in the way you did. No incidents or shaming has ever been reported. No. The one thing the consensus does really well is it helps people achieve a very deep level of understanding. Yes. I will write that down and relay it to the team. Yeah, I'm just checking some boxes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so when that is all done, you can then decide whether you also want to become a diver yourself. I personally would really recommend it, because it's amazing. but it is a very personal decision. Diving is a unique experience, and I think you should take this into account when you decide whether to have the shot or not. Yes, exactly. So when you dive, initially it will hurt a little bit. Well, it's not exactly pain, it's more a sort of strange discomfort. So the thing is, no two minds are fully compatible, and the shunt needs some time to calibrate the brain to the brain interface. Yeah, exactly. So by design, we've chosen to have this calibration on the diver side, since they are typically the more experienced party. They have more control over the process. Exactly. Yeah. So it is really nothing to worry about. Yeah. So you can disconnect at any time when you're diving without any ill effects. No, it's not like in movies. No, none of your mind is actually transferred to the other mind. You simply use some of their neural pathways, but you stay in you. Yeah. Yeah, it is really nothing to worry about. Yeah, so what is it like? Yeah, that's tough. So, diving is amazing. That's probably the best thing to come out of this technology. It's something that's best experienced, but I'll try and describe what happens physiologically and then try and put into words what it actually feels like. So diving, when you dive at a very low level, your shunt will evoke action potentials in the other person's brain. Their brain then responds to these additional signals, and some of the results are transmitted back to yours. The implant will approximate where those signals would have come from in your brain, would they have been created by your brain. So this leads your brain to believe, to some extent, that it is their brain. Exactly. And in a way, this is also true, since you're physically using some of their neural pathways. We're simply using an external device to relay the signals. Exactly. So that might sound a little weird, I know. But it's also not really like you're taking over their brain. A fair chunk of the processing of this information is still done in your brain, and you never have any control over their physical body. What it feels like is also hard to describe. It's seeing the world through their eyes, but really through their eyes. You will experience everything they experience, and you will join in all of their thought processes. Your brain and your thoughts become a subconscious process in theirs. And this allows you to influence them, but not control them. They still have full control over all of their bodily functions. Exactly. Yeah, it's completely safe. Emotions are also relayed. So everything from bliss to excitement, everything is transmitted. Yeah. Also pain, I'm afraid. So these emotions and feelings are not transmitted by electrical signals, but by the shunt excreting the same hormones and proteins that their brain would be creating in response to those impulses. Yeah, it's really something else. You have never understood another person the way you will after your first dive. And you will love them afterwards because you understand why they do the things they do. Yeah, you do remember things, but they might be a little bit strange. So some of the memories may seem a little alien after you resurface. Well, how do I explain this? Some memories that you generate during a dive only make sense while diving, since they depend on the way the other person sees the world. Or other memories that they might have. Yeah. It's not bad or anything, but it's just something that you should be prepared for. It's a bit of a weird sensation when there are some memories that you don't quite understand, or which seem incomplete somehow. But it's all normal and it doesn't really impair your day-to-day life in any way. Exactly. I don't think it's an option to opt out of that. No. I mean, you can choose not to dive, but if you dive, then the memory thing comes with it. It's a side effect. Yeah. So that's diving. And then finally there's dream diving, which the word is pretty descriptive. Dream diving is a little bit more involved, it's a little deeper. And here you typically dive into a person while they are dreaming. However, for this you will need a special license before you are allowed to dream dive. Yeah, this is because you need to learn certain techniques to recognize and avoid disrupting important phases of someone's sleep. This is important because sleep is often associated with memory processing, and if you disrupt certain phases of the sleep, then you can really mess that person up. Yeah. So this is why you need a license. Once you figured it out and are allowed to do it, it's really cool. I've got my license and I've done it maybe 20 times now. I mean, you always have to wait until a slot becomes available because people have to specifically activate their shunt to allow for dream dives. And there is somewhat of a waiting line, but it is really cool. Yeah, it's really amazing. Every one of these experiences was truly memorable for me. Even nightmares were cool. The thing is, the other person is dreaming, but you are fully aware that it is a dream. And in a dream, you have more capabilities than you usually have during diving. So since you're lucid, you are able to exert certain influences which may feel and appear physical to you and the other person. So some people even manage to concentrate and somehow generate a persona of themselves in the other person's dream. So really a physical representation of themselves and interact with the other person's dream. Now I probably don't have to tell you what kind of things you can do with that. Exactly. I think this is pretty much the main thing this is used for. So you're interested in that, huh? Thought so. Oh, you just seem like the type. So, well, I can see you're excited now. Great. So, I take it that's a yes, so we can fill out all the forms, and then you can go home, think about it, and then next time you come in, you sign all the papers. Yeah, exactly. No pressure. If you don't want to do it anymore, you don't, and you say, thank you, but bye-bye. Yeah. Alright. So what's your biorecord number? 462. Yeah. So 426-824-462-116. Mm-hmm. Let me just check that for a second. Mm-hmm. Alright. What's your federation of birth? Nexus. Cool. So, what do your siblings think about you joining the consensus? I remember Nexus was always very opposed. Well, maybe you can convince them. Mm-hmm. Yep. Should we mention this in your report? Yeah, you'd prefer it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any illnesses that we should be aware of? No, that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I'm writing it down, but it really shouldn't affect the procedure. Okay. Allergies? No. Have you ever been genotyped? Would you like to be genotyped? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it's not necessary, but it's a service we provide. Mm-hmm. When was your last TSC scan? That's quite a while ago. If you choose to do this, we should probably do a new one. Yeah. It's to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I assume you don't have a criminal record, otherwise you would be here. No. Okay. Mm-hmm. What is your current employment? Okay. Don't have many of those anymore. Alright. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I need to take a small tissue sample from behind your ear, if you don't mind. This won't hurt a bit. Give me a sec. There we go. Let me just run this through the system. Hang on. Okay, that's all clear. All right. So, signature. Cool. So when do you have time to come and sign the papers? How much time do you think you need to decide? Alright. Does the 11th suit you? Okay. Yep. No, 12th is also okay. 4 p.m. I guess, see you next week.